Good evening, guys, and welcome back to our championship predictions. I've got Bez with me today again. How you doing, Bez?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, good. Glad to be back doing this. Obviously, after we missed a week with it being international break, so I'm glad we're back to doing this. Brilliant.
Super. So we'll start with the first game that's going to be coming up, and it's Middlesbrough versus Millwall. So we've gone different here. I've gone 2-1. The reason for my 2-1 is really it's going to be a tight game, I think. Middlesbrough second. They've drawn the last two games, but Millwall aren't in great form either. They've drawn and lost in the last two games. So I've gone for a cheeky 2-1 to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, and I agree. It is going to be a tie. Now, the reason I've gone a draw, so you can see that I've got Middlesbrough 1, Millwall 1, is because I kind of think they're going to cancel each other out. I've previously said that Middlesbrough are a team who generally start to bottle it towards the end of the season. They've done this on a number of years. And I also think that Millwall have probably not got enough steam in them to keep going. And, ultimately, I can see it being Coventry and Ipswich who get those top two spots. Obviously, Middlesbrough and Millwall will definitely stay in the playoffs. But I just think they'll fall short. And that's why I think this will just end up in like a draw. Millwall, to be fair to him, they went to Ipswich and got a draw, 1-1. And you'd argue that Ipswich are a better side than Middlesbrough. So I just think they'll do the same and go to Middlesbrough and get a 1-1 draw.
Fair enough. On to the next game, Birmingham versus Blackburn. I've gone 2-1. I'm just looking at your score at 1-1. What's your reasoning behind that one at 1-1? I think it's home bank to me.
I know. Obviously, you've got a bit of a down on Blackburn, to be fair, haven't you? I think you think they're going to struggle. Since the new manager's come in, though, he's had a decent record. Yes, they lost to Oxford. They only drew with Portsmouth, but they did beat Millwall away 2-1, and then they got a good point at home to Middlesbrough. I do think the Birmingham manager's under pressure, and their form's not great. They've lost 3 out of last 5, drawn 1, won 1. So, I just think they'll get a draw of Blackburn out of this. They've got more to play for than Birmingham. So, I think that goes against Birmingham.
I just think Blackburn are a poor side. I know you said they won, but previous to that, they drew, lost. I know Birmingham's had 2 losses, a win, a draw, and a loss. But I just think, obviously, Birmingham are up in 11th. You said they've nothing to play for. They're probably going to miss out on the playoffs. You're right, but it's an home game, and I think they'll win 2-1 myself.
Do you think Blackburn is still going down then, or not? Because obviously,
I think obviously, I still think they're going to struggle. Yeah, I do. I can't see West Brom going. It's between them for me. And Portsmouth for the last spot.
Yeah.
I don't think Leicester will go down either.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, okay.
On to the next game then. We go. Charlton versus Bristol City. I've gone with a 1-0 away win to Bristol City. I think Charlton are a poor side. I know they've picked up a bit of form. They've got a decent enough manager. And Bristol really nothing to play for. There's not that much in it. So I can see your reasoning behind the draw, but I just got a feeling that Bristol will pinch this one on a very boring game from 2 boring clubs, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, we've obviously both got a low-scoring game. Like you said, Bristol City form's not the best. In fact, it's one of the worst in the division currently. Charlton have hit a little bit of form recently, but the thing with Charlton is they've probably done enough now to stay in the division. They're on 48 points. 48 points. So, a couple of draws. And they've got that magic 50 number. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to try and draw the way between that end of season to that 50 points. Obviously, Bristol City have got the new manager in a young Roy Hodgson, 80 plus, whatever old he is. And again, I do think that he's going to go in there like any good manager will do, and I think he's going to sort the defence out straight away. Now, Bristol City have conceded 50 goals, which is quite a lot, considering they're a team who don't like going down. So I think he's going to come in and he's going to sort the defence out first, which is why I think this is going to end up 0-0. But I suppose that also backs up your point, because you've got, them almost snatching it 1-0. So, yeah. It feels well. I like Rodson as well. I mean, he's a bit old. I really like him. Didn't work in England, but I actually like Rodson. So, it feels well for him.
I think he's a snatch at that level, Championship.
What, even at that age? I mean, let me just work out. How old do you think he is?
I think it's like when we got Neil Warnock at that, very similar.
I think Neil Warnock, when it came to Rovers, were more like 65, and I think Hodgson's 85. Honestly, I think is. Let me check. You carry on, and we'll check. I'll just check now.
Yeah. So on to the next game, Leicester versus Preston. So for me, it's now or never for Leicester. They're in the deep mire. I think they've got far too much quality to go down. But you look at the form, it's not great. Lost, drawn, won, lost, drawn. But Preston have got nothing to play for. They're 13th position. They've lost. They won the last game, I get that. But I just feel Leicester at home, it's now or never. I think the quality will shine through. I don't think it's going to be easy, because I don't think Leicester are that confident at the minute with where they are. I think there's a bit of nerves going around that they could get relegated with that squad that they've got. Should never get relegated. And I think they'll squeeze this 1-0 though.
Yeah, so just quickly, Roy Hodgson is 78, so he's not as old as I said, but he's still old. So obviously I agree with yourself. I do think Leicester will win this game. I just got a couple more goals in there for either side. Leicester 2, Preston 1. I'll start with Preston first. I mean, it's strange, but I expected Preston to go down this season, or at least be one of those teams who were fighting to stay in the league. But because they had such a good start, they've ended up being nowhere near relegation. But what concerns me a little bit for them is that I think by the end of the season, they'll only be 4 or 5 points clear of like third bottom, because the form has obviously been absolutely horrendous for the last couple of months. Now, they did beat Stoke, so fair enough, they beat Stoke 3-1. But apart from that, the form has been poor. It worries you for next season for Preston. Leicester, I agree with what you were saying, Lee. They've got such a strong squad, which has obviously been mismanaged over this season. They've brought in Guy Rowett, who I like Guy Rowett, and obviously he's there. He's coming to do a job and keep them up, and that's it, really. But if he's there next season is another question. But because they've got Rowett in charge, and this is a winnable game, I think Leicester will win this relatively comfortably. They've then got Wednesday away and Swansea at home, and then Portsmouth away, Leicester. So I could almost see him picking up 12 out of 12 points from them 4 games, to be honest. So, Leicester will finish closer to the table than they will bottom 3, in my opinion. So,
On to the next game, and it's Portsmouth versus... Norwich versus Portsmouth, so it's the wrong way around. I've gone 3-0. I think this is a walk in the park. Norwich are on really good form. 1-1-1. They lost 1, but then won again straight after. And you look at Portsmouth, they're going down, in my opinion. Lost, drawn, lost in the last few games. They're not going to finish above Leicester. And I think their only hope is that maybe West Brom or Blackburn can struggle further, but I just don't see it. I think Portsmouth are nailed on to go down, and I'm going 3-0.
Yeah, I echo those sentiments. Obviously, I've gone 3-1, so I've just got Portsmouth scoring a consolation. I'll start with Norwich. Yeah, as I said before, I really like Norwich, like the way they run. What they got wrong this year was just the wrong manager. Obviously, we've got conflicting interests and opinions on the ex-manager. Obviously, I rate him and yourself don't. But they've at least now got the right manager in Philippe Clement. He's obviously he's probably a manager who should be at a higher level because he's gone from managing a Rangers side who are in Europe to managing Norwich. It's quite a good coup for them, I guess. But I can see Norwich next season. I think that's the season for them. I think they'll be fighting for that top 2 spot as long as they keep the players that they've got. And yeah, an easy win. It's a shame this run didn't come a little bit earlier for them because they're just. If they'd have maybe picked up a month earlier, they'd probably be on more like 60 points and only 3 off it playoffs. So I'm disappointed in that. But yeah, no danger of them going down. Portsmouth, again, I agree with yourself. They are in deep trouble. The form's just plummeted off a cliff. Like they were in bad form, then they got a couple of wins. I think it was something like 3 wins out of 5 or something like that. And you're thinking, that's it, they're safe. But since they beat Millwall away, which were a great result, I mean, Millwall, they just imagine if they'd have beaten Portsmouth and Blackburn like they should have done when they lost both games, they would be in second, I think. But yeah, since that game, they've literally lost every game, including an absolute hammering at QPR, which I don't think no one saw coming. Now, I'm just looking at their fixtures. Norwich away, difficult. Oxford at home's winnable, but then they've got Middlesbrough, Ipswich, Leicester, Coventry, Stoke, and Birmingham. I'm sorry, Forza fans, but you are going down. And to me, the team who's going to join them is between Oxford and I still think West Brom. So yeah, Norwich 3, Portsmouth 1. And I'm sorry, Portsmouth fans. We'll hope we'll see you next season, but we probably won't because we're going down as well.
Yeah, so for me, the next team that goes down is this team that are playing next, Oxford. I know they had a mini run, 3 wins on the bounce, give them a little glimmer of hope, new manager bounce or whatever. But since then, they've drawn and lost, and I think there'll be another loss. Hull City. I know Hull really, they're going for the playoffs. They're a bit indifferent. They lost 2, then won 1, then lost, and then won again. But the 5th in the table, they're chasing those playoffs and trying to cement them places in that playoffs. I can't see anything other than a Hull City win. I think it'll be tight because the only reason is Oxford are fighting for their lives, and they do seem to be competitive in games. So I'm going to give Hull a victory of 1-0, and I do think Oxford will go down. So my bottom 3 will be Sheffield Wednesday, Oxford, and Portsmouth. That will be my bottom 3 for this.
So you have taken Blackburn out then, because you definitely had them going down about a month ago.
Yeah, I thought Oxford may have, when they went on that 3 winning streak, I thought they may pull out of it, but since then, a draw and a loss, and Blackburn have sort of had a win and a draw in that space, which has sort of made me change my mind a little bit on that one. So yeah, I think it's going to be Sheffield Wednesday, Oxford, and Portsmouth that go down.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, obviously I had West Brom nailed as going down, and I think West Brom have got a better chance of going down than Blackburn now.
West Brom.
Say that again, sorry.
Since we said, I said to you, they're a good side, and since that, I think they're unbeaten in 4, 2 wins on the bounce for them as well.
Yeah, 2 wins and 2 draws. Yeah.
Yeah. Unbeaten in 4.
I mean, to be fair, though, when they lost to Oxford, I thought they were doomed then. That was end of February. So, it just shows, doesn't it, what a month can do. Now, we talk about Rotherham. If Rotherham can do something similar, then maybe they can get out of it. This game, again, very similar to yourself. I've gone Oxford 1, Hull City 2. I think you've got to commend Oxford and the manager. Like I openly said that I wasn't like a massive fan of Matt Bloomfield. I get he's up and coming manager and he's still kind of learning his trade, but to me, he's one of the managers who he tends to move on before seeing a job out. So, like, if you look at him, he's had no promotions, but he's had a relegation, and this is going to be 2 relegations. So, you know, if his record after this season says 0 promotions and 2 relegations from 5 seasons in charge or whatever it is, it's not a good record. So, yeah, I just think he was the wrong manager at the wrong club. Unfortunately for him and Oxford, I still can't get over Oxford getting rid of Guy Rowett. I mean, you know, if they'd had Guy Rowett, I do think they'd have stocked up because unlike Rotherham in this league, Oxford did actually try and spend a bit of money and stop up. Yeah, they bought Michael Hellick for a couple of £1 million, for example. They managed to get some really good loan players from Premier League sides who were like the best players in League One last season. In terms of the Tottenham forward who was at Leighton Orient, I can't remember his name now. Jamie Donnelly, that's it, Jamie Donnelly. So to be fair to Oxford, they've actually given it a go. So when they do fall short, it's not for want of trying. I just think, you know, sacking Rowett was the wrong thing to do. Hull City, a little bit inconsistent at the minute, but, you know, they've been in and around the playoffs most of the season, so I do think they're going to get there. I don't think they're going to win playoffs, though. A team who we'll talk about later on in this video, I think will win the playoffs. So, yeah, good season for Hull, though, who obviously have done well to get playoffs. I don't think there were anyone who said Hull would get the playoffs. I've just realised the team I'm on about is the FA Cup, so they're not playing this week, and that's Southampton. I think Southampton will win the playoffs.
Oh, there you go.
What do you think, Liam?
Yeah, I mean, Southampton are a good side. I still think if Ipswich are in playoffs, they'll win them.
Okay.
Personally.
But that means you've got to have one of Middlesbrough or Millwall getting promoted in second.
Why? I'm having
Coventry in playoffs.
Second.
You what, sorry?
I'm having Coventry finishing top, Middlesbrough second.
Yeah.
And Ipswich to win the playoffs.
That's what I said. I said, if you've got Ipswich in playoffs, that means you've got to have one of Middlesbrough or Millwall finish second. And you got Middlesbrough second.
Yeah. I don't think Millwall will go there. I'd like to see Millwall go up, but I just can't see it. On to this game, as mid-table as you get.
It is classed as a derby, though, by the way.
Yeah, and that's why I've gone for a draw. I think it'll be a blood and thunder draw derby. Actually, QPR have recently won 2 on the bounce, and Watford have been a bit indifferent, a draw and a win. But I thought I'm just going to go for a draw due to it being a derby, and I don't think QPR are that good, to be honest with you. I think Watford have got a better squad than QPR. That's why they're higher in the league. There's not much between them, and that's why I've gone for a draw.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with a lot of what you said there. Now, the only reason I've gone a QPR win is because QPR haven't drawn a home game since they drew with Oxford United, which was September. So it's from September. So what's that about? It's about 20 games, 20 games. They've not drawn once. They've either won or lost. And I think it's going to continue. So to me, it would either a QPR win or a Watford win. And I just went to QPR fully because they're at home. And, you know, they've just come off a massive 6-1 win against Portsmouth. So the confidence will be high. They'll want to win the game with the local derby. And that's the main reasons I've gone 2-1. Agree with yourself. 2 mid-table sides. I think it's a good season of QPR because QPR historically have been close to the bottom of the previous seasons and they've nearly gone down. So good season for them. However, Watford, disappointing because they're normally trying to fight to get in those playoffs and they've kind of been nowhere near them. So, yeah, good season for QPR. Not a great season for Watford.
On to the next game, and this has got to be the most underperforming squad in the whole of the Championship. Sheffield United down in 17th. The form has not been great recently. Lost, drawn, and then there was a win in there. But that squad should be in the top 3. I don't care what anybody says. United have probably got the best squad. Those players need to look in the mirror and say, what the hell is going on? Because obviously I know it started off bad with the manager and Wilder come in and things changed for a little bit, but it's gone back to type. You know, I
how much do you blame Wilder? How much do you blame Wilder then?
I blame him quite a bit because with that squad, you have got to get more out of that squad than what he's getting. I don't care that it's not his squad. Many managers get squads and they don't get to build the squad. I don't get this myth that every manager, when he comes in, he's got to get his own squad. It doesn't happen anymore. The squads are that expensive. You can't afford to do it. So when you employ a manager to work with the tools you got. More and more clubs now build around the academies. The managers are not signing the players anyway. The club are signing them for the club, and then the manager fits into the club. That's the modern way of how football is done. It long gone are the days when the manager comes in and has 100% say on each player, you know, like Alex Ferguson used to do. Clubs now build it as a club, and then the manager fits into that structure of how they want to play. Now, they knew what they was getting with Wilder, and he hasn't delivered. You know, for me, I'd be seriously looking at the end of the season and possibly replacing Wilder.
Wow. So even though when he took over, there were danger that Sheffield could go down, and he's
they were never going down with that squad. He steadied the ship. That's about as much as he's done.
Okay.
He hasn't progressed them. They're not playing great football. I've watched them a couple of times. For that level of player, you tell me any other squad that wouldn't have Patrick Bamford, Calvin Phillips, Hamer, Peck, all of these players, they're top-end Championship players, and he's not getting the best out of them. I'm sorry, he's just not. Okay. For me, if he does not finish within the top 10 and the 17th now, he should be removed at the end of the season for me.
Wow. I'd just like Sheffield United fans to comment, whoever watches this, because, you know, obviously Wilder's still seen as a legend at the club, and, you know, I know you're saying you never engage me now.
You know what they said? You never go back. It never worked the second time. We've seen it so many times. We're seeing it now at Exeter with Taylor. He's gone back to Exeter.
Yeah, struggling, yeah.
It's not working. We had it with Ronnie Moore ourselves. We had it with Steve Evans ourselves. The second time they come back, it never works. And there is a reason for that. You never go back. And Wilder's gone back to recreate something. It's just not going to happen. I think they just need to replace him with a younger, better manager than Chris Wilder.
Well, what we'll do, if we can do it, let's try and put a poll on and ask Sheffield United fans, you know, all you have for Chris Wilder, all you have for Chris Wilder, yes or no. So I'm just intrigued to see what the Sheffield United fan base thinks, really. So, please make comments in, everyone.
We'll produce the results.
So my view, so obviously I've got a United win as well. I've got a 2-1 win. I think we'll start with Swansea first. Swansea, again, a bit like QPR and Watford, just your typical mid-table team. They're on 52 points now. They're going to finish around mid-table. To me, that's just an okay season. I wouldn't have expected Swansea to go down. I wouldn't have expected Swansea to go up either. So I think they're probably
Sheffield United at this stage.
Say again?
Would you have expected them to be above Sheffield United?
No, I wouldn't say fair, no. Well, I also agree with what you're saying. I expected Sheffield United to be challenging for top 2. But the only difference, the only thing I do disagree with is that when Wilder came in, it sometimes can be a big job to turn around players' confidence. And I guess he's kind of struggled with that. Now,
I disagree though, Bez, because usually you see a new manager bounce.
I know, yeah, when you see a new manager bounce, though, okay, but when you do see a new manager bounce, what tends to happen? It's happened at Blackpool, where you get the new manager bounce, if they win 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it is, and then they end up at the other side starting to lose games again because the issues they had with the previous manager start to fall through the cracks again.
He's had January, Bez. He signed Calvin Phillips in January. He signed Bamford in January.
Calvin Phillips has not had that good a season. I mean, he got his red card.
He's still way above the level. He's played for England. He's a Premiership player. Yeah,
he's only played 3 games. He's been injured and been suspended.
Well, that's his own fault, isn't it? He shouldn't get sent off.
Right, okay. Okay, I mean, fair enough. Like I said, I look forward to seeing what the fans think.
He's got a good enough squad for me.
I personally agree with the squad is good, but to me, I'd be keeping Wilder because, you know, what happened with Sheffield in the summer just gone is the reason why United are mid-table and not in the top because they replaced Wilder. They shouldn't have done. The new manager came in, it didn't work, and they've obviously gone crawling back to Wilder, and he's obviously come in. So I don't want them to make the same mistake again where they employ, because Sheffield and foreign managers don't seem to go together. The 2 foreign managers that they've had have both left the Sheffield as a club within the bottom 5, and it took a manager, an English manager, to get them out of that. Paul Ecking bottom first, and obviously Chris Wilder. So I would be keeping Wilder myself. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see what Sheffield United fans say. So yeah, please comment, please answer the poll, and we'll see what you say.
On to the next game, Sheffield Wednesday. The worst side in Championship history. Absolute pony. And regardless of the points deduction, they're still statistically the worst squad ever to play in the Championship. Thoughts? I'm going 3-0. I can't see. I'm not even going for a Jerry Yates goal this week either.
No.
I'm going for 3-0. And yeah, League One beckons for Sheffield Wednesday.
It's a short one, this, because, you know, every single week we're going to say the same thing about Sheffield Wednesday. You know, they've had a tough year. Now, one thing I will say, I'll ask you this question as well, Lee, is so we all get that Wednesday have got the issues behind the scenes. They've got rid of chairman, they've got administrators in, they can't sign players. Next year, they can only sign players under a certain wage cap, though that's the rules at the minute. I think Wednesday is trying to challenge that, so we'll see what happens. But do you think that their manager should take some responsibility in this or not? Or has he just been dealt a bad hand and he's doing the best he can?
No, he's got to take responsibility like everybody else. They've probably got a similar sort of budget to what Rotherham had, and people expected Rotherham to stop up in that league. So, yeah, the points deduction, forget about that. Your total games, you're losing every single game, and you're getting whooped every game. Like Rotherham couldn't afford to sign Jerry Yates in the Championship. That's just a fact. Yeah, they couldn't have probably afford to sign Redmond. They had for a bit as well, and then they sacked him off. But they've got a wage bill that's probably higher than what Rotherham's was the season we got relegated from the Championship. At least we put up a fight. These have gone down with nothing, without a whimper. And the manager has to take some blame at that. There's good enough players in there to be competitive. They're not even competitive. You know, every week they're going to lose. I've never known a team that you know every week that they're going to lose. Like, you think, oh, they might put up a shock here. You're surprised if they score a goal. That's how bad they are. So the manager's got to take some responsibility. You can't blame it just on the cards you dealt. They're going to have them similar cards next season as well, but they're still going to have probably one of the higher League One wage budgets. So, what are you going to buy from? I'm not.
I agree. I mean, my opinion of the manager is I don't know the situation, but if I was a Sheffield Wednesday fan, I'd want the manager sacked. Yes, he has been dealt a bad hand, but I agree with Lee. You go into every game, hoping for just a goal, really, or not even a goal, just a shot on target. Because they're not even on shots on target, but it's sound, I think. So, yeah, I think the manager has to take responsibility. I personally, if I were a Wednesday fan, would want to see a new manager next season. I think if you stick with this manager, I think there's massive danger Wednesday are going to go down again. I know they're going to get the points deduction as well, but even without the points deduction, I'd be worried for Sheffield Wednesday. Just quickly on Stoke, I like Robbins. They've had an okay season. Stoke have normally been near bottom, but never like going down. He's steered up to mid-table. I expected more from Robbins, I'm not going to lie. So I'm hoping next season he gets it right and he gets Stoke into those playoff positions.
Fair enough. On to the next game. West Bromwich Albion versus Wrexham. So Wrexham steaming up towards the sort of trying to get into the playoffs. Currently 7th. Playing pretty well, to be fair. And West Brom down the bottom. But they've won 2 on the bounce. This ain't going to be a walk in the park for Wrexham. And I can't see Wrexham coming out of the Hawthorns with a victory. I think West Brom will hold them to a draw. I think West Brom will stay up. I said that all along when they were looking really ominous that they would go down. I did back them. I said they're not going down. I think you, Bez, were saying you thought they were. And I said, no, they've got too good a squad. And yeah, I don't see them losing this game either. I've gone 1-1.
Yeah, and I did say, the reason I thought they were going to go down is more to do with manager because they've got a guy in charge who is a caretaker manager he was still playing a couple of years ago, as far as I'm aware. And I just thought, to me, it felt like West Brom board had almost given up because they'd sacked the second manager in its face for like 4 or 5 weeks. But I do think, West Brom have got a bit lucky in the fact that Portsmouth and Oxford, like Portsmouth especially, have been so poor. I think West Brom will finish 4th bottom. I think they'll finish 4th bottom. This game, the reason I've gone Wrexham win, so I've obviously gone 2-1, is because Wrexham's away record is really good. Like I think they're like 6th or 5th in the league for away performances, and it includes wins away against like Sheffield United. Obviously Wednesday were a straightforward one. They beat Charlton away, QPR, Derby, Blackburn. So I just think they're going to win again away from home. And that's the reason I've gone for a win. I do agree, though. I think West Brom are going to be safe. Wrexham, I think you're going to fall just short at playoffs because, unfortunately for you, Southampton are in form of their lives and they've overtaken you. And I think they're going to get that last spot.
Fair enough. My worst prediction of the season was to predict Derby relegated. Currently sat in 8th. They're not getting the playoffs, so I did say to their fans they're nowhere near good enough to get in the playoffs, and I do believe that. I think they're going to lose to Coventry as well. I did say from the start of the season Coventry were my pick to be the champions, and nothing's changed my opinion on that. I think Frank Lampard will do it. He will also beat his former club in Derby as well. So 2-1 to Coventry, and they will be champions. Derby will be Derby and probably struggle next season.
Again, same. I've got 2-1. Just with Derby, I have to say, when we were on that call, it was, I think, one of the first podcasts we did where it was all of us on. I couldn't believe how many people were saying that Derby would struggle. I really like John Eustace. He's did excellent at Blackburn. Blackburn have gone downhill since he left. And Derby as well, the recruitment's been really good, to be fair. That Patrick Adjiman, I think, is class. Obviously, Sammy Smodic's another good signing, although he was, I'm not sure if you saw, he ended up in hospital, did he, after Ireland in Czech Republic because I don't know if he lost consciousness or something. So I hope he's all right anyway. But yeah, good signings there. Agree with you. Fair play to Coventry. They've come through that rut where they looked like they were going to bottle it. They've gone back to 9 points clear. Only, 7 games to go. Can't see anyone catching them up. And yeah, fair play to Lampard. You will be champions.
Super. And that rounds it up for us. That's the final game of the Championship weekend. Do you agree with us? Do you agree with our predictions? And what do you think about Sheffield United? Do you think Wilder should be sacked at the end of the season, or you're with Bez? He deserves more time to turn things around. Sheffield Wednesday fans, would you sack your manager as well? Do you have faith in him to take you up in the champion in League One to see if he can get you back up with a possible point deduction as well? So do you think he could take you on a double relegation? Matt Amshaw's free, boys. I know he's a Wednesday fan.
It's a Wednesday fan, yeah.
He'd be a great manager for you. I'd highly recommend him. I'll send you his CV in. I'll even drive him to Hillsborough for you. Absolutely, 100%. I'll drive him to Hillsborough. So, boys, if you want Matt Amshaw, he is available.
Cheap option. Yeah,
cheap option. Don't pay any compensation. It comes with Dale Tong as well, so they come as a partnership. Brilliant. You could even have Richard Wood back if you want as well. He can come as a threesome. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. Please like the video. Please share the video. Drop your comments in as well. If you're not following us, what the hell's wrong with you? Why don't you follow us? There's something wrong with you. You don't know your football. Because me and Bez have got the best prediction show in the game. Yeah, we predict football. We know football. So, yeah, thank you for watching and see you next time.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.